Today is all about cold calls, so get your pen and pad ready. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome to Learn Commercial Real Estate. I'm Divine Katoure, also known as DK by the Bay, and today we are going to be focused on cold calling. Each week I write a newsletter and I focus on aspects of commercial real estate, and this week I focus on cold calling. I had such a great time writing the newsletter, and as always I've got to do a video because it's important for you to hear what I'm saying. It's important for me to show you how to put it into action and how to practice so you too can become a master cold caller, so you too can learn how to speak to brokers, business owners, and landlords, how to give business and how to help your business grow. So my name is Divine Katoure. I go by DK. I am a commercial leasing broker, agent, director, and I am focused out of the San Francisco Bay Area. I represent landlords and tenants, and I focus on retail, office, and industrial products. I love commercial real estate, and so much in fact, I created a company called Learn Commercial Real Estate, which is a focal point to help real estate professionals focus and diversify into commercial real estate leasing. Commercial real estate leasing is a closed industry. You normally have to know someone who knows someone to be a part of it. So Learn Commercial Real Estate is to help people who want to skip over that and may not know somebody, but they will know that they can close deals. They know that they can serve their community. They know that they can help business owners find really great business space. And then when it comes to commercial leasing, they know they can help the business owners find the space, and they know that they can help landlords find reliable tenants for their space. So that's what we focus on. And today we're focused on cold calling. Let's face it, social media cannot be the only way that we expect clients to come to us, okay? It's not possible. We have to be able to do outreach. And in the past, before social media and before the advent of lots of advertising, that's what people did. They called, they wrote letters, they knocked on doors, and they were able to get clients. That's the way that they got clients. So we need to remember that. And so with the cold calling, we want to switch that. We want to get out of that mindset of cold calling, because that's not what we're doing. We're learning the Learn Commercial Real Estate way. We're learning a different strategy for 2021 and beyond. And it's not cold calling anymore. What we call it, with my phrases, my strategy that I created, is called calling to connect. So in calling to connect, you're no longer cold calling. But for the sake of this video and for you to actually get it in your mind that you are now calling to connect and no longer cold calling, I hope this gives you an incentive and some encouragement and a different pivot mentally to start thinking of ways to connect with your clients, your business owners, your tenants, your landlords, those investors, those developers who are waiting for you to call and connect with them. They're waiting for you to let them know you exist and that you're reliable and that you're trustworthy, and you can actually ding, 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 get deals done because that's the most important thing. Can you get a deal done? If you want to call ABC Machine Place, then guess what? Google them. Look up about you page. Find out a little bit about them. You might be getting the owner's name right there in the information. Then you can call and definitely be calling to connect. It's no longer a cold call now. It's no longer a cold call, right? Because you're going to use the information and the knowingness of just visiting the website, getting a feel of who they are before you call them. And the information that you see, you're going to put it in your CRM, okay? So know who you're calling. That's number one. Two, know why you're calling. Are you calling to ask for an appointment, for an email? Are you calling to introduce yourself? All of the above normally, right? But why are you calling? Are you calling to say, are you looking for a new business location? Do you know anyone else do? Are you calling to say, hey, this is who I am, and let me offer something to you? So I want to go back to the value exchange. It's so important to be able to offer them something on a call, right? So the value exchange is this. You might go to a website like Hoodline, which I like Hoodline because no matter where you are, they have different information pertaining to your area of restaurants and stores and things like that are closing and that are new. And especially for these business owners that are working very late, that are going there very early, they don't have a chance to see all of that. So if you have a couple of pieces of information like, hey, did you know the restaurant down the street from us is closing? And always use the word us, because you want to remember that you want them to know you're boots on the ground. You're local. You are touchable. You can actually be to them in 20 minutes when it comes down to it. If they're saying, hey, come be the listing agent for this space. You want them to know I'm from the community too. I'm local. These are all things. Let them know that you're local. Use the word us. Use the word we. Be inclusive with the client because you could be possibly closing a deal with them soon, right? So what you want to do is go on your local publications in that area and see if there's any market changes. And maybe you've driven by. Maybe you know the space 300 feet from them is going to be opening up with a new space, with a new business, and you might want to let them know, right? They will so much appreciate that. And there you have that value exchange. You have something that you have given in exchange for you asking either for their email, asking for their phone number, asking, hey, do you need any assistance? Do you know any other business owners in the area that might be seeking new space that really haven't been able to locate a really great opportunity for them because they're too busy to look for spaces? They're trying to run their business. And that's why representation of tenants is so important. They're trying to run a business here. They don't have time to look for spaces. They don't have time to call brokers and figure out square footage and triple nets. And that's where you come in. That's where you come in, right? So know who you're calling, know why you're calling, right? And then make sure you have the opportunity to give a great value exchange to them. You want to make sure you can give a value exchange. And then, hello, let's take it to the next level here. You're going to actually, with the value exchange, you can do comps, okay, from your area. You can do market reports. You can do demographic reports, things that are easily at your fingertips because you have an MLS or because you're a professional real estate agent. You've got some tricks and tools that regular civilians don't have. These are great things that might take you 1 minute to download, but is invaluable to them. And you can offer that on the phone call, right? Get what? Asking for the meeting, asking for the appointment, letting them know, oh, when can I pop in? And always say pop in. I always like to stay away from words like appointment, schedule, introduce myself. Because to some busy business owners, that can seem too tedious. They're gonna have to take out of their time to talk to you and figure out what you want from them, because obviously you're coming in there. But no, I'm just gonna pop in and say hello and introduce myself. I'm just gonna pop in and say hello and meet you fast. Or you can say introduce yourself like that. But yes, I wanted to come in and introduce myself and sit down and talk to you. Nothing like that. So there's a difference. I hope you guys are picking that up. Hope you're picking up when I'm laying down. Hope you're picking it up. So we're going to keep going here. I'm going to get a sip of water real fast. Yes, Avanisa goes to LSU. Okay. So those are some really great ideas that you can give, right? So how when you talk to them, what do you say, right? What is the script? What can you say? So let me give you an example of calling a business owner, and you are calling to share some news or your value exchange that you have, whether it's demographic reports or anything that you might have from Hoodline or your favorite publication. So you can say, hi, this is Divine and I'm with EXP Commercial. I'm a local agent and I'm calling business owners to share some news. Are you the business owner? And then they might say yes or no. So if it's yes, you can be like, oh, great, my name is Divine and you are? And they might say, okay, great. Well, I wanted to, is now a good time to chat? Because I wanted to shoot you some updates about what's been going on in the market where your business is located. And then they'd be like, well, no, it's not a good time to chat. Well, let me get your email address so I can get that over to you so you can just take a look at it. Because it's so important that business owners stay abreast of what's going on in the community. Believe me, they will be so thankful that you're doing this, that you're taking your time out to do this for them. They will be very happy. And so maybe it's not the business owner, maybe it's just the employee. Not just the employee, maybe it's the employee. Employees keep businesses going, right? So it's the employee, and say, oh, hi, well, my name is Divine, and you are? And they'll be like, Madeline. Well, hey, Madeline, I need the business owner's name and email so I can email them some really important market reports. How are you today? And then she'll be like, yeah. Well, she'll be giving you the information by that time. You write it down and you let them know that you're going to send them an email. And then you can even ask when will the owner be in, so you can pop in and just say hello. So remember, the employees of today are the business owners of tomorrow. And many times when businesses are tasked to find another space, it's usually one of the employees who get told, hey, we need you to find a broker and agent to help us, or we need you to help us find some new space. And it's normally the receptionist and the employees who are handling the operation. So always be kind. Always remember, you never know who you're talking to. It's so important to think like that. So I wanted to have my notes here because I sometimes get lost. So yes. Okay, so we're getting back to the script. And we always want to make sure that we give a positive word and say something positive. And if you get sort of nervous and there's like an empty space, you can say something like, yeah, I love championing local business owners. I love supporting local business. That's one of the things that I'm very passionate about in my commercial real estate career or my commercial real estate path. Always saying things like that is great. Always nice to hear something positive. A kind word goes a long way, even in business. So I decided to sit down. Are you still with me? Are we ready to go? Let's go. More cold calling. More calling to connect, that is. Let's go. So you also want to put yourself in a different point of view. Put yourself in the point of view of a local business owner who's so busy, they don't have time to look what's on the market. They don't have time to understand what businesses are opening and closing, or what new businesses have come in. They might be driving in 2 to 3 hours to the business location, and they don't really get a lay of the land. And that's what you're here for. You're that boots on the ground. So always remember and keep that in mind. How can you add value to local business owners? What is the culture of your local business area? You know, because normally most people live and work and play and eat within a 5-mile radius of their home. So there's a micro culture there. There's a micro ecosystem that only the people in those blocks know, right? Only you who have lived there for a specific time know about a specific corner on like a corner store where you can always go there and those people are really nice. Or you always know about the local dry cleaners place, right? Just think like that. What is the local culture of your community? And what remains the same? What remains the same is, during cold calling, you've got to have a notebook. You've got to have a really great notebook that's dedicated only to cold calling. And I'd love to see how that notebook gets filled with juicy business contacts that are really going to elevate your career over the year. Elevate, right? So keep your notebook handy when you're doing your calling to connect, and that notebook should be filled. Write things down. Don't worry about being on the computer when you're speaking to these people. Don't worry about it. You're not a data entry clerk. You're a person who's taking notes and listening, and more important, listening. If you need to ask how to spell a name or spell an email, do it. Don't be embarrassed. It's better to clarify. So choose not to be confused and go ahead and clarify, because you know you're going to need to anyway. And this hasn't be something that's weird or strenuous. So set yourself up for success early by knowing who you're calling, knowing why you're calling, know what products you're calling. Are you going to be calling retail businesses within a 5-mile radius from you? Are those retail businesses going to be anyone like in a certain number of plazas? Are they going to be retail restaurants? Are they going to be hardware stores? Are they going to be nail salons? Are they going to be hair salons? Are they going to be warehouses? So have your game plan of strategy of who you're calling for, because you can use the same type of information on your value exchange for all of these calls. So once you get the email You can just send over the information and already have a little template that you're going to follow up and send to them. So it is a process, it is strategies, but these are the things that we need to do to be successful in our market, and it's sharpening our skills. It really is. So it's not easy, guys. This is a tough industry. Commercial real estate is tough, but you are tougher. I'm DK by the Bay. I run Learn Commercial Real Estate. It's a channel to help real estate professionals and people who love real estate to learn how to lease commercial property, how to help investors, how as an investor to lease your commercial space, how to work with brokers, how to work with each other as agents, how to be the best commercial real estate agent that you can be. Keep shining, follow, like, subscribe, and please share this information. And I hope to see you soon. Please connect with me and make sure you download the freebie that is in the bio, because I spend a lot of time doing this stuff because I love y'all. Have a great day, guys. See you soon. So once again, we're back. Here's part 2 of cold calling. We're going to wrap it up, but this is going to be a series we'll be doing all the time because we can never get enough information on cold calling, calling to connect, because that's what we're calling it now, calling to connect. I can go on and on about giving you so much information, and I promise that I will. But I want to wind it down and go over a few things. The first one is value exchange. Value exchange. Being able to give value in exchange for a client's information. Even if you don't get anything, be prepared to always offer value. And one of the great ways to do that is by knowing exactly what's going on in your market. It's daily reading, it's driving around your market, it's really tuning in to the vibes, the elements, the atoms that come into material that make the buildings that matter, right? Because that's what we're focused on. Second thing is, know who you're calling. Do a Google search before, look up their website, get some information from them. So you're not making a cold call, you're making a warm call when you're calling to connect. Second thing, know why you're calling. Know what it is that you want. Have all of that information down and you're sure to be in a success. We will be going over more scripts, but more importantly, just pick up the phone and do it. Don't be nervous. Well, it's okay if you're nervous. It's understandable. Most people are nervous about cold calls, but I got my notes here and I wanted to go over a few things with you. So small things make a big difference. Stay on strategy and stay consistent with your cold calls. You should be putting in at least 50 cold calls a day. That's a time block of like 2 to 3 hours. And in that 2 to 3 hours of 50 phone calls, you'll probably get about 11 to 15 live people. And that's great. Remember, this isn't dial until you get 100 and talk to 100 people a day. These are quality calls. These are calls that you take the information you've learned, put them in your CRM for later. You may not connect with these people this day. It may not be until next month. It might be next year, but guess what? You might be the agent they're calling a few years from now to help them locate the perfect business space. So now it's not always about what you say, but it's about how you make people feel. Even if they can tell you're new and you may not have a handle on all the processes of how the deals work, but if you're willing to get in there and willing to make the calls and willing to offer yourself as a resource or someone who adds value, that goes a long way in commercial real estate. Believe me, a lot of the agents get very lazy. And that's why with listening to me and learning these skills, you're going to surpass a lot of agents who may have been doing this for a while. So stick with me, stay close. So small things make a big difference, and the small things that is staying consistent, because consistency is key. Having a strategy is key, and keeping your pipeline now is keeping your future pipeline full, right? Essentially. Keep notes on all of your conversations. Calling to connect should be thought about as calling to connect with business owners, tenants, landlords, developers, investors, right? Those are the people that you're calling to connect with. Those are the people who need leasing, commercial leasing assistance, right? Also, I want to go through it again. Know who you're calling. Know that you're calling to make an appointment. So ask for it. Let them know you want to pop in to say hello. Introduce yourself so they see your face. They can put a face to a voice. It's very important. And then make sure you're following them on social media. That's really important. Ask them, hey, do you have an Instagram? And then you begin following all these businesses, and then you can actually see what's happening. We're closing. We're looking for a new location. We're expanding. Make sure that you have an account that is based on business. So when people are scrolling by, they're seeing you active in commercial real estate. So when it is time for them to have a business space or someone else that's an entrepreneur, they'll be thinking of you, right? So that next point. And make sure you can always just say, hey, I was just calling to say hello and introduce myself, get your email address, because there's some really interesting things that's going on in the market right now, and I want you to know about it. I want all business owners to know about this information now. That's how you need to be thinking when you talk to them. Letting them know what you have to say to them is urgent because it's information that's inside. They may not be able to get the information themselves. So as an agent, be resourceful and be ready to always add value. I'm DK by the Bay, Divine Katoure. Thank you so much for joining me today on this Calling to Connect. Please like and share, subscribe. Tell your buddies who are trying to get into commercial real estate to follow me, because I bring you the best in commercial real estate leasing. Lots of love. Have a wonderful day.